Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wondrous Propagandacast from your host, ImperialDane, master of propaganda, hero of the Reich, defender of the fatherland. We're off to a 1 vs 1 right here on Simoski Winter. It's going to be one from the Reddit tournament. It's going to be one of my matches versus Giap. Sadly, I did not go through there. Anyways, we're going to be seeing two grenadiers here on the way, starting up with the Infanterie Company here, fighting for the 18th Panzer Grenadier Division, noting assault support, mechanized assault, and German mechanized versus Giap. With here, Soviet Chog Army, Soviet industry, and guard rifles. There's definitely a bit of sort of variation here in what Giap has to offer. And fighting here for the 15th Mechanized Corps. Conscripts moving up, points are being secured rapidly. Left and right, grenadiers arriving there. Not remembering here, we're close to seeing 3 grenadier conscript squads already out, compared to me, who's only first now getting 2 grenadier squads out. So of course, that is one of those advantages of the Russians. They can generally get out a lot more units right away if they so want. Right here, we're seeing a quick follow-up with a Molotov. So 3 conscript Molotovs here for Giap, and by the way, back to me. MD-42 following up here, points being secured. Pioneers heading southwards here so far. And looks like Giap is aiming straight for the fuel point right there. MD-42 arriving, grenadiers moving up here, going to sort of try and keep them a bit together, at least initially. And again, I might also just move up here and secure these points here. Not expecting too much, but we are seeing here that Giap is making a bit of a spearhead move straight into the center of the village right away, pretty aggressively taking up positions there. Grenadiers going to move into that. There we go. First engagement setting up there. A few shots being exchanged there. Pioneers versus combat engineers there. MG-42 arriving, conscripts quickly falling back into the cemetery. Combat taking up position there, taking up position here behind some light cover, fighting away here. One grenade down, not sure what happened right there, they seem to pull out of cover. MD-42 setting up here support. Conscripts falling into the church. Another grenadier squad arriving here. MD-42 grenadiers sitting with one here, but again heavy cover, that means they're going to be rather difficult to deal with. Units over here doing alright. Pioneers slowly getting the upper hand versus the combat engineers at the moment. Grenadier squad moving up, and points have been secured while the conscripts moving in to cut off. Slightly shifting around here. But immediately Paul Hines takes a hit. And there go down to 2 combat engineers inside the house. Continuing engagement there, we're seeing a 4th conscript squad arriving there for Giap. The position in the cemetery so far holding up quite well, although they are now slowly beginning to bleed out ever so slowly. Combat engineers over here falling back, only 2 pioneers left though, so not doing too well. Then the grenadiers ultimately are forced to fall back from that position on top of everything else. Mortar on the way. Realising, of course, the Giap is rather digging in there. I conclude that a mortar would be the best choice. And we're seeing Giap quickly storming out of the church, making a run for the house with a Molotov, a fanduel of fiery doom, and there we go, goes off in the building. Grenadiers quickly they're falling back here towards some other cover. Granatimev moving up, grenadiers reinforcing. Ever so slowly. Conscripts moving in there, pioneers holding up. But they will be forced to fall back there, not in a condition to fight whatsoever. MG-42 concealed up there. Slowly bleeding out, not looking good, not looking good. Giap here actually able to pull off a nice quiet stall. And we're seeing here a special rifle command going up for Giap. Now the Granatenwerfer has arrived at the front line. And there we go, first shot. Now it's a nice bit of damage there on the building. In fact, church takes some rather severe damage. The tower gets knocked off, the conscripts quickly fall back. And all of a sudden things are not looking too handy and dandy for Giap right there. Conscripts trying to get away, but they're running straight out there. Not sure why I chose that. Path might have been an accident. Or some poor pathing out of the way. Conscripts there not having a happy day. And quickly making a run for escaping. In the meanwhile, also an engagement up here. He's quickly going to move over there because, well, here's the thing. Only one window there, which pretty much means my grenadiers are just positioned here. They will have the advantage. Largely. And we're seeing here a quick scout car arriving for Giap. The M3A1. Planning for a rather mobile, aggressive harassment strategy there. Certainly something Giap is rather known to like, at least that's what I've noticed in the replays I watch. He tends to sort of favour some more mobile, aggressive tactics. with half-track scout cars and whatnot. Up here, conscripts are holding up. Grenadiers here holding up with a bit of light cover. MG4 moving in support. Going to lay down some rather superior firepower towards this building, while the mortar moves up here to try and flush out the conscripts there, aiding the Grenadiers. Holding up here by the barrels. Giap so far seems to have been in a bit of a stalling mode. And there you go, conscripts quickly abandon the building as two MG4 begin raking the windows with a hailstorm of lead. And there we go, mortar round strike the building. They do kind of a damage. Scout coming in, flamethrowers inside. And he moves in a bit closer there. He's going in for the kill, but at the same time, though, a quick panzerfaust there does the trick. Grenadiers in a bit of trouble, Now the Grenadier squad moves in to assist. And going off for a quick rifle grenadier to actually sort of try and catch troops around it. And there you go, in fact, the scout car goes down. The combat engineers will remain in reasonably good health. Pioneer squad down, getting a scout car to sort of help with that. Sort of a more mobile strategy in return from me as well. With a lighter Panzerspähwagen. Mortar around there, does a nice job on the engineers. They're also forced to pull back, going for the cutter point again here with a rather depleted conscript squad. Forces definitely getting extended. We're seeing Giap here hiding a large infantry force on the right flank, likely intending to sort of strike in towards here while I'm occupying maybe what's here. And there we go, scout car arrives. Troops reinforcing. Pack 40 on the way. This is still old patch again. Old patch tomorrow. There will be new patch episodes. Second scout car out here for Giap.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Troops reinforcing, pack 40 on the way. Grenadiers moving in and up, and there we go, quick rifle grenade here, hoping to catch someone also in the deep snow. They actually have a harder time dodging it. In this case, apparently that aimed rather wrong, or Heinz is a bit drunk. Either way, there we go, conscripts actually a bit of trouble. My scout car can actually sort of keep up with them as they're trying to retreat there with light machine gun. And you just might be noticing this, but in fact resulted in him losing an entire conscript force there in retreat. Giap overextending, and in this case getting punished for it. But, will he escape? Will he escape? Nope, scout car in the end gets it. Conscripts are forced away. At the same time, conscripts squad moving in from the north there. Moving in here with the scout car to sort of try and pursue. Get them on the ice. Second scout car sneaking about, still flamethrowers in it. And immediately going for a doctrinaire assault support. With the officer. And there you go, the officer arrives to sort of boost my troops. Mortar flying down there on the troops. The scout car in this case also acting as a nice observer for the Granatenwerfer crew. Making things less fun there for the conscripts. At the same time, the scout car pushing up the center, MG42 there. The scout car realizes what's going on and sort of tries to get in behind. Going to catch that scout car in a storm of fire and bullets. Scout car though forced to fall back. Pack 40 also up. That is moving in. Conscript force moving. Then Pack rushing in, going to see if they can't get the scout car. Pack though quickly turns in a nice precision to react to this. And there we go. One shot through the front takes it out. Communists rather forced to retreat rapidly as things go south here. More conscripts though are following up for Giap. Bit sometimes there's actually seen that many scout cars in a fight. But again, it rather does allow Giap to sort of quickly shift forces towards, unity team exposed and sort of wipe them out, which was trying here. But again, the scout car, as you said, makes that a bit more difficult. And then also the Grenadiers as well. Striking back hard, he's quickly going here for the right-hand side. Grenadiers here a bit on their own, going for the munitions. Going for the fuel point, again, very consistent fuel point harassment here from Giap, constantly going forward, hoping to delay me, and of course also still holding this, we have yet to sort of properly strike back there.
Soviet forces are engaging us! What do you need?
Grenadiers on their own over there. And scout cannon, in fact, getting upgraded here with the Kampfwagen Kanone. The 2cm auto cannon. Larger force moving in to sweep after the conscripts from the fuel point. Officer moving in towards the northern fuel point. Slowly moving in force, going to give him a bit of a beating. Then there we go, auto cannon begins hammering into the wooden panelling of the building. Conscripts moving up there. Taking a bit of light machine gun fire going into the house. And there we go, forced to vacate the premises. Scout car slowly but surely advances. Conscripts moving in there, going to surround the Grenadiers. Nice move there, though there's a larger relief force inbound. MG42 continues to hold up there. Grenadiers taking up position inside the building. Hopes to cancel contest the retreat there with a light machine gun. And there goes submachine guns up. He's either then going shock army or guards rifle. But the guards rifleman inside the scout car rather gives away that he's gone for guards rifle. Veterans one there for the scout car, 7 kills. Gonna see a light machine gun holding out. And there go just these consoles getting absolutely pummeled with light machine gun fire and auto cannon. The bushes there proving to be surprisingly not much of a defense against large caliber bullets or any kind of bullets really. And obviously being engaged by conscript squad moving in, obviously taking up defensive position there. Quickly a concentrate fire order is shouted out as submachine guns also pop on them. Scout car doing what he can here, but already heavy damage there. Close to Veteran 2, no point in wasting that. Conscripts up here not doing so well. The officer with his Luger proving superior, but then hit the dirt, pops in, and the Veteran 2, the officer and his companions are forced to vacate.
Scout car awaiting orders.
In fact, time to pop over here to Giap, who has now got himself a second scout coming. This is some really intense scout car action play we're actually seeing here from him. Rather rare, but of course also a bit fuel intensive though. A bit. I mean, that's so far 18 fuel so far expended on that. But of course he's rather hoping he can sort of keep that up by keeping it harassed and a bit unsure. And there you go, by the way, nice hit from a mortar. Almost knocks out the scout car right there. The M3A1.
Scout car.
Also known as the white scout car. The white coming from, I think, the manufacturer of the scout car. Conscript flanking back versus 2 Grenadier squads. Light machine guns might open up point blank. That's not going too well. At the same time, scout cars in there. There they go. Hitting the dirt, but at the same time, rather making themselves complete and obvious targets. And there you go. Veteran 2 increasing line of sight and increasing accuracy. At the same time, scout coming in there. Charging in. Grenadiers back try and get off of Panzerfaust. Although they need to get out of there rather quickly. Scout car going to have to force react. Grenadiers retreating. Barely alive. Pack 40 though covering. Veterans 2 for the combat engineers inside the scout car. Sturmgeschütz also arriving. There we go. Support armor core is up. In that regard, I mean, Giap is a bit behind. Guards rifle arriving. Conscripts coming in there. Scout car slowly rolling ahead. And the MG42 firing well as well. But at the same time, this bit of shrubbery in the center is actually making it harder for me to sort of shoot across here. But Scout coming up to support. Getting further kills, so does the Granatenwerfer. Officer arrives on the spot. Scout car hanging about up here. Giap might want to pull it back. This one as well. Get them repaired. And there go Guards infantry caught. While the MG42 grenade goes off. Does a bit of damage, but at the same time, Matt considers shifting over to incendiary for the MG42. And that might be, there we go. Opening up point blank there, doing quite a bit of damage, forcing the Guards infantry to actually pull back. And taking quite a bit of damage there from the Schweres MG42. Scout car is pulling back, a bit of a failed assault here a bit. Again, that mortar round on the scout car really sort of managed to prevent him from sort of launching several mechanized assaults on my positions. Snoop did take a bit of a hit there from an anti-tank grenade, but still managed 3 kills on the Bolsheviks. Scout car slowly raking up the kills. Both scout cars will be in need of some emergency repairs. Now again, a properly executed assault then from several angles could prove tricky for me to handle. Mittelschützenpanzerwagen moving up to help reinforce troops at the front line, so don't have to constantly run back. Slowly pushing forward here towards the fuel points.
Rifleman ready.
It is cold back here with the gun.
And guards riflemen in the north. Note here, no DPs for them, no DPs, though that could actually get them quite a bit versus infantry. And a quick fragmentation grenade versus the officer, forcing him a bit back there.
What? The enemy has found us!
Half-track here, launching a minor assault, but unexpectedly encountering a rather large force, alternating a second guards rifle squad here from Giap. Lots of infantry, my half-track ending up in a lot of trouble, more than anticipated, more around striking the enemies, but also my own troops heading the dirt there. And there go, both squads wiped out. Friedrich might have some sins to atone for there. In fact, he's killed almost as many friendlies as he's killed enemies. Nicht gut. There we go, launching the assault right here. Of course, that did quite well. That definitely gave me a bit of a shock there. Guards on the other flank need to be careful of that scout car. Machine gun fire from the Stoop and the Grenadiers force away the conscripts there. And the meanwhile pushing up near the right flank. And Guards infantry moving up there, coming under fire.
Now this land belongs to the Soviets.
And at the same time calling in the Luftwaffe to provide a bit of aerial support. Alternating actually using merge reinforce the Guard squad, taking a bit of damage there. Going for the fuel point again. And Scouts infantry moving up. The Scout can take quite a bit of damage. About to go down, I'm afraid. And kaput. Stoop firing away there. Infantry quickly mounting a counter-attack to clear out the left flank. And at the same time we are seeing here that Giap is pushing rather heavily on the right flank, home to take away back territory at the same time, setting up a Tank Battalion command. Also both Scout cars are repaired. Wonder what would have happened if both of those had been ready to all sort of push and assault as well.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
That could have been interesting. But seems like Giap rather forgot about them.
Our points have fallen to 300.
Grenadier with officer support moving up here in the north. Quick. Concentrated fire. Encouraging both squads to fight harder. Fragmentation grenade going off there, wiping out another Grenadier squad. Heavy infantry loss here being inflicted by Giap all of a sudden. That's going to make things hard to hold. But Panzer's here in support with the Luftwaffe. Stop one conscript from advancing too far. And Stuke in a duel with another conscript squad. Going to make a rush for that. MG42 Grenadiers moving in. Officer continues to fight up here in the north. Holding out, and the conscript continue to try and hunt down that Sturmgeschütz. But ultimately looks like they realise there are better things to do. And never mind, perhaps they don't. Instead opting for the more vulnerable anti-tank gun and mortar crew. And unravelling all the southern parts there. Guards infantry falling back as the Pioneers arrive to support the officer in his engagement. And then go Molotov on the Panzerkanone. Submachine guns going to clear out the rest. Stuke though getting off a few kills in addition. Leaving behind only one poor shot to get out of there. Another scout car prepared.
That's the last one.
No second scout car following up. That could definitely have given Giap there a bit more of a punch. And there we go. Merging in the Guard infantry squad in this case. Giap realizing he just wants the firepower, not the armor of this unit, interestingly enough. There's still no DPs. Still no DPs. That's a bit unfortunate. Otherwise, I mean, that unit could have done a lot more. Rather interesting note again. Conscripts moving in and getting shredded there. Hitting the dirt, and Grenadiers falling back. Scout car following up. MG42 might be forced to cover up there, and we're seeing a Panzerkampfwagen arriving from a nearby Panzer Division to provide support. Since most Panzer divisions actually had no armor of their own, they actually had a battalion of assault guns, usually Sturmgeschütz, though sometimes other things might be substituted.
Your predecessor died a hero. Yes, comrade. The water is warmed up.
But the front lines continue shifting so far.
Capturing supply sector.
Panzer IV moving in here, noting I'm just trying to stay away from the ice because one, you know, unfortunate hit could send it sinking. Obviously, counter-attacked. Panzer IV moving in, MG42 here with Sturmgeschütz support, stopping the conscripts from advancing too far there. Panzer IV slowly advancing, but carefully. And there goes shifting urgency in the arm pitching down, so he's actually sort of pulled away already. And meanwhile, again, using the ice to sort of constantly shift attacks across the ice and launch sort of from as many different possible angles, keep me guessing. Scout car quickly shifting again. A bit of a shame he didn't take the other one with him, because again, that could have allowed him a greater deal of mobility, which again would be a bit of a problem for me. But swiftly shifting the armoured reserves as Giap continued to shift his axis of attack. Though the infantry lack casualties begin to hurt, another Grenadier squad arriving.
A sector has been cut off.
Conscript squad going to move in and flank. Now go another anti-tank grenade. T-34 moving in to support. Another T-34 on the way. Pack 40 here supporting as well. Panzer IV also ready to provide support. And there you go, nice hit down the conscripts. Taking out quite a chunk of them. T-34 moving up, Guards infantry flanking.
New units have arrived.
Well, Ersatz Guards infantry Grenadiers for the light machine gun, though, providing flanking support. Another Grenadier squad and the officer provide support on top of everything else. Quick grenade down the Grenadiers, and Oh, almost gets them, plus one of the officers' command squad. Conscripts flanking in there on the mortar, getting it in return. Scout car sneaking in there, perhaps hoping to exploit a gap, but a bit late there, Guards infantry from inside the building provide support fire as well. Conscripts there, close to getting wiped out. Panthers arriving. Machine gun fire finishes them off. T-34 getting blasted, scout car down. Commands though work quick to evacuate. Panthers upon a bit of trouble. Second T-34 navigating across the ice. And the Stu quickly gets finishing one T-34 trying to get away. Pack 40 trying to fight, covering fire. There we go, one T-34 down. But Panzer IV rear has been exposed, fatally so. And there we go, a destroyed engine. It won't be going back to the Reich. Trying to blast away through the church, but that's obviously having limited success. And there we go, Panzer IV out of control. Trying to repair that stumping church rather desperately, but so far limited luck. And the officer basically ordering concentrated fire. And getting out of the building there is getting constantly bombarded there by the Sturmgeschütz. Veterancy 2 for the officer appears as well. And there we go, quick raking there from this machine gun on this dude, gets a kill and then another hit from the main gun. Centre barely held at the moment, but ever so barely, and quick getting into the church there. Advancing through the anti-tank rounds, but also rather heavily wounded. Getting the pack crew. More infantry advancing. Panzer is supporting a grenadier advance. Bit of a big wave there, and over to Dane, and also time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is the centre is rather hotly contested at the moment, though I'm currently flooding in with fresh forces, whereas Giap is also, but at the same time I do possess a bit more longer range firepower. On the other hand, he's got a tank which is sort of more free to move, whereas I've got one assault gun at the moment, which is less so. Which definitely presents a bit of a problem. Of course, if we can get that repaired and back in the fight, also needing 2 pioneers to sort of help with that. I mean, I could probably push the T-34 out of the village. But at the same time, a decent infantry assault could also force it to basically by threatening with Panzerfaust on that T-34, and it simply won't be able to hold off against all that infantry. In particular, also then say recruit the Panzerabwehrkanone and push in. The Guards infantry currently can't provide much support. They are forced to pull back. Although again, the conscripts they're following in could, for example, merge with them and that way provide a bit more durability. So there are definitely some options there. Points here sort of cut off. In fact, Giap is having a bit of a sort of a mixed time holding on to the map at the moment. Both sides also have no high munitions. Currently, I've actually got a decent infantry force. I'm getting in more grenadiers. I'm basically sort of trying to maintain a reasonable infantry force so I don't get caught up in that. Also, not got a lot of fuel, so instead I'll be sort of saving that up. I could actually try and consider getting an Opel Blitz to that way sort of, help with my fuel and munitions issues. That way also helping to get armor faster, perhaps quickly moving towards a Tiger tank. That could definitely be an option. If there were to be any other, getting another Stug rather quickly could be, or I could try saving up for another Panzer IV for something a bit more mobile in this kind of situation in terms of, geography and all that, which could be an alright idea as well, though getting another Stug wouldn't be half bad either. Again, this scout car, though, has been standing around rather long for Giap, and I'm a bit surprised at that. I mean, again, had it been pulled in, things might be looking better, but we're also seeing right now that Giap has actually taken quite a thrashing, down to basically 3 squads of combat infantry having, well, not that long ago, having a much larger force, so that's a bit unfortunate, and that's definitely some losses Giap will need to be quickly replacing. Another tank, of course, in the long run could also prove helpful, but a good use of a scout car could perhaps sort of shorten things out a bit for him, sort of allow him to overcome some of those losses he's been suffering. A fuel cache could also be an idea to sort of help speed up further armor, or perhaps trying to somehow save up for a well-placed Sturmovik attack to devastate my own infantry at the moment could be a consideration. But Giap might want to sort of try and sort of deal a bit more with the flank, try to draw him into some engagements I can't win there, rather than some head-on assaults into the village. While he's successfully sort of pushed me away from the centre of it, I'm still holding on rather aggressively to the south, and I'm striking back hard. The officer proving quite helpful for that, and of course the MG42 here at the outskirts of the Sun Cemetery also proving quite helpful. There we go with incendiary piercing rounds again, basically a good weapon for punishing infantry getting caught out in the open. So there are some things there to sort of take in consideration. I need to be careful about overextending too much at the moment. I mean, I don't want to get greedy and try to hold too much of the map. That would definitely prove disastrous on my side. Actually, no, that's a pioneer retreating from the mortar crew. That's my fault. I need more pioneers to help expedite armor repairs. Also recruiting that mortar, providing me again with further artillery would be a nice idea, and again that's also one thing that Giap is lacking, artillery. He could in fact also consider setting up a support weapon company and get some support weapons that way. That might help him a bit more in this sort of more bogged down fighting in the village. But back to combat. Now going to send the army to get one guards member, there we go.
HMG here.
Officer under fire!
Officer moving ahead.
Squad is ready.
An anti-tank grenade lies dropped there by fumble-fingered Yuri.
Look here.
Capture complete.
Additional Grenadier arriving. There go conscripts arriving. Officer might want to fall back. There go another nice hit there from the Stoop. Not half bad in dealing with infantry, in particular the infantry clumps up. We can actually get some decent kills. But there go head-on assaults. A bit reckless, but does damage. Actually, it's still getting short. It won't be getting to mobility right away. But heavy losses are inflicted on that initial conscript squad, and it is moving in to fight the required support. T-34 moves into support from the south. Scout coming in from the north. Rifle grenade does a bit there, and we're seeing the Grenadier squad moving in there, forcing that conscript squad away. T-34 quickly rolling in, basically trying to outmaneuver me. Not a half bad idea. Attack getting recruited. And this Grenadier squad is rather heavily equipped now with the light machine guns and oh, I thought they picked it up. There we go. Now with an anti-tank rifle, though hardly the best weapon by this stage of the fighting. Still, could always provide a bit of support against the scout car, and better than having my opponent have it, to be honest. There we go, second Pioneer squad arriving, fuel being sort of amassed now, a Panzer IV could be an idea, or saving up for a Tiger, though that would be considerably more expensive. Still 5 infantry squads, where's one of them is an officer. Pack 40 holding up the centre, ensuring that Giap can't roll straight into the village centre anymore. Not without some more harder resistance from the Reich, from Deutschland. And these gentlemen just sitting here. Well, you know, this American-made car is not bad. But strangely enough, reminds me of a German-made scout car from the beginning of the war. In fact, the Germans had a very similar-looking scout car. Sort of, though much smaller in this department, not so much made for carrying troops. But still, look rather similar, in fact. A bit odd. There we go, T-34 quickly moving, providing armour to forcing away the Grenadiers there. Good job there, using the T-34 to support its infantry.
Well done. We have forced
Nice job there. Also knowing here, he's constantly, you know, he's not keeping it too far at the front. He wants to be careful he doesn't get caught by his dude with, say, a target weak point, which could actually spell the doom of his T-34. And we're seeing here again, noting here, he's constantly using the buildings here in the fog of war provided, sort of trying to sneak up on me there. Not a bad idea. He's constantly sneaking in, which is good. And definitely good Soviet play right there. There you go. Renault's getting overwhelmed, quickly rushed away. At the same time, larger armor assault going in there. 2 T-34s up. And there you go, trying to ram. Damn it, engine though. Fails to ram. Panzer is an officer forcing away there. Veteran 2 for the Sturmgeschütz. Schützen up. And gets off a hit there. T-34 moving in. Can I get off a target weak point? Target weak point, Pioneers moving. No. No target weak point. And there you go, trying to flank the Stug. Scout car moving in, causing havoc there. Nice big assault. Fast straight from the pack. Company's coach going down. And there you go, T-34 flanks. The Sturmgeschütz knocking it out. Incendiary RPG seeing a bit of a jolt there. T-34 causing utter havoc.
We have a new Panzer IV.
Taking away victory point also rather rapidly. A nice coordinated assault there from Giap. The scout car was tragically lost, and the village is beginning to be littered with the wreckage of Soviet vehicles and armour. There you go, hitting the dirt right for my Grenadiers. Nice job there. Basically giving him light cover out in the open. And up close, pretty much being going to have to fall back with my Grenadiers since they have no chance. I mean, that's one of those advantages of hit the dirt. I mean, a lot of people seem to think it's useless, but again, you catch your opponent out in the open, hitting the dirt all the time means you have light cover, he doesn't. And that gives you the advantage, in particular if you're close up. So it's nothing to scoff at.
Panzer IV ready.
So there you go, Giap sort of taking up defensive posture here. Holding up the right, but then advancing rather rapidly, gaining map control, map domination, though again, but his problem at the moment is he's not got the units to really hold it. More MG fire here from, well, what was once the Southern Cemetery, quickly shifting over to Incendiary RPG. again. Making much more aggressive use of it this match because I basically want to punish an infantry as much as bloody possible. There we go. Squad flanking in, and we are seeing... Oh wait, it's me calling in air support. I thought it might have been him. But no. A quick strafe there from the Luftwaffe that turns the tide. And he's moving north. Panzer's managed to clear out the village centre. The few random bullets and then go on squad down, but getting hit by their own mortars. God damn it, that mortar is cursed.
They're flaming us!
Apparently it was made by the Czechs. Apparently had a rather fond knack for sabotaging German weaponry.
Officer reporting.
Conscripts up there. Panzer IV providing support for the Pioneers, using the range of the Panzer IV to sort of stay out of trouble. I mean, he does have range to sort of, actually engage infantry from a safer range. You just need something to spot for it, or spotting scopes. Something a lot of people tend to forget and just drive it straight up. But there we go, large armoured formation moving in, support up here in the north. Conscripts holding out inside the small storage house here.
Stroke 3 ready to deploy.
Interesting enough, the T-34 is moving in. We're seeing another Sturmgeschütze arriving here for the Panzer Grenadiere. Holding out here, and there we go, veteran fleet constantly, and there we go, the T-34 is rolling through the snow, opening up, and the Grenadiers forcing them to fall back, waiting for German armour to arrive and provide support. Grenadiers here not looking too great, and there we go, force troop. They could in fact get cut down here, though, taking heavy losses with that. Panzer IV arrives, getting behind the other comrades, and there we go. And quick anti-tank rate, managed to break the armour, but the conscripts, yes, they will go down. At the same time, an assault in through the village centre clears out support weapons here, left unguarded by me in one mistaken move. But we do see the MG-42 arriving, Panzer Grenadiers, Pioneers. At the same time, note here what he's doing, he's actually circling about. Good move there, by the way, not trying to engage, but at the same time, though, ramming in. Now there's just one slight problem. As you might have noticed, his own tank was blocking the way. He did get the Panzer IV, though, but he lost the T-34. And at the same time, I can actually get my Panzer IV back.
Pioneers! What do you need?
And noting he's actually getting snipers now. Getting snipers. Up into that way, draining our manpower. So here, conscripts heading all the way up here. He's perhaps hoping I'll sort of get drawn away from there and then sneak in again. Flamethrowers leading the charge. All of a sudden, the village centers once more rather abandoned.
We are ready for action.
Troops being hastily stitched together and pushed back.
Lieutenant Colonel, at your command.
Enemy forces are securing
Interesting enough, there's been absolutely no mines here from Giap so far, and also looks like these are no longer being merged with conscripts. Looks like he's had enough of that, or just don't have the resources. Another conscript squad there on the run. He's been a bit careful about choosing his retreat path there. Looks like this time around they will make it, unlike the previous comrades who made that same journey, ended up rather dead. Holding up here and holding up there. Giap's forces are getting increasingly sundered apart. I'm not entirely sure if the sniper's sort of the one thing he wants to get at the moment. He's going to have a hard time actually keeping them covered, considering how much infantry he actually has to screen them at the moment, plus my armour. I think you should have either opted for some more infantry, some guards infantry, or some fuel carriers instead, thus allowing him to push harder on the tank side of things. Just my fault anyways. Oh, it's not. Oh, also here, demo charge. Well played. Stug upgrade there with the Pintermite machine gun. Opening up there on the combat engineers as much as possible. Another pair of T-34, so they quickly feel a need to pull back. And there you go. Demo charge went off, but apparently without killing anything. I think he might have been slightly over eager there.
Officer reporting.
Spreading out a bit here, and there we go. Giap going in to punish with the sniper and conscript squad. Nice move there. Grenadiers forced to retreat, and actually ending up dropping the light machine gun in favour of the anti-tank rifle. Nice set of priority there, Heinz. Nice set of priorities. The Führer is most disappointed in you, giving up such a valuable weapon to the foe. And another Stug. Again, I'm rather worried about the hordes of T-34s, so I'm basically opting for more Sturmgeschütz to basically that way provide larger amounts of firepower to hold him down. He's definitely getting pressure, but again, I'm less convinced that the snipers are going to be a good move. Less convinced. Center continues to be held, although a bit changed again. Incendiary armor piercing ground again. Note I'm rather aggressively using it as soon as I can in every possible engagement, since again it pretty much means if he runs into it and keeps at it, I mean I'll shred him. I'll tear him to bits. Holding on here to the fuel point as much as possible. And there you go, the third Sturmgeschütz moves, well the second compared to what I have now, moves up. Light machine gun on the way. Top. Mortar rounds going in, sniper sneaking in. Getting on one machine gunner there. Concentrated fire, going to hunt down those snipers if possible. Snipers that are quick to retreat into the face of danger. There you go, 2 T-34s moving in. Quickly ramming one, Panzer IV, mobilizing it, and then going in after the Sturmgeschütz. A bit of a bold maneuver right there by Giap. Trying to get that T-34. Close to, but also close to blowing up the own Panzer IV. Grenades going off there, and the Panzer grenades, and oh, almost gets them. Stuke fires away. Heroically, Pioneers bringing into repair. And blowing up the Panzer IV. At the same time, the officer here got a few kills, swiping out the combat engineers and gaining veterans in the process. And there goes Stuke gaining veterans, one almost annihilating the Guards infantry squad in the process. Looks like he's finally, by the way, got them the light machine guns they so desperately need. So down to 2 assault guns again. More T-34s arriving for Giap. In fact, it's time to pop back to Giap. Grenadiers moving in. Now getting 2 sniper teams and finally getting some more infantry again. I'm not convinced 2 sniper teams is really what Giap needs. I mean, yes, in essence it could wipe out my infantry fast, which is certainly good, but at the same time there's not enough to really sort of push up and support them and those efforts at the moment. So I'm not really sure that's a good idea. Again, more infantry again. Opting for something that could give him more fuel would have been a better choice in my opinion. I mean, if I have 2 Stukes, then 2 snipers are not my worries. In particular, since the Stukes actually have a decent chance of wiping them out and counterfire. And taking up position there, hitting the dirt. Target practice for the Sturmgeschütz cool. And quickly calling in a strafing on there. The Luftwaffe moves in once more. Another sortie. And there we go. Oh, they picked up a flamethrower which got burst open. That's just terrible luck there. Hitting the dirt in a ditch and then getting hit with a mortar round. Causing the flamethrower tank next to it to burst open.
You know, Boris, I think this might be hell.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
T-34 ready for action. Da.
Slowly and aggressively pushing back. Clearly setting up again for another pair of T-34 85s.
You want the sniper?
No roll, the snipers having minimal luck at the moment. Stukes here remaining. So far, most of Giap's armored assaults so far gone down the left side, so I'm rather keeping them there in anticipation of it. Since currently there's very little sign of the armour here, and perhaps that might be an idea for Giap to actually again shift the sort of axis of attack, but now all of a sudden the endeavours to sort of attack the angles are lost. Stukes lead a counter-attack here with Panzer going to need support. Conscripts suffer under it. Guards, infantry and snipers moving up here. T-34 moves up. Strafing run continues to be quite the pain. It looks like some poor bastard here got wiped. Looks like the Grenadiers rather ended up dead. Guards infantry on the other hand ending up quite dead in return to the machine gun fire and heavier fire there from the Sturmgeschütz. It's actually doing alright. Due to not complete rubbish against infantry, particularly due to the high rate of fire, they can reasonably well decimate a unit. They're hardly going to be as effective as, say, a Sturmpanzer IV or a Tiger tank. Still, they can actually be alright.
Do not let this trend continue.
But again, the sort of force that Giap currently has would be more of a defensive force with that many snipers rather than an offensive force. Also, I'm actually pulling back the Stooks in case he might try to pull off a flank here or something else. I rather want to give them a bit more room to maneuver in and a bit more room to draw in my opponent with. Also noting, beginning to set up bunkers here to protect my victory point, so you can't just make a straight rush for it, since I'd rather notice Giap just sort of likes to sort of run in for those and sort of go for them, so a few bunkers here and there could prove to be quite handy. Plus I've got the munitions for it. So there we go. One machine gun bunker up here. Surprisingly, none of the buildings in the village have collapsed despite all the fighting here. They're all sort of standing in one condition or the other. That tends to be a bit rare. In particular with that kind of heavy fighting that's been going on here with artillery, strafing runs, tanks galore.
We have a new T-34
second bunker going up.
slipping from our grasp.
More T-34s arriving.
50 points remaining.
Giap setting up here for a do or die assault by the looks of it. Issuing another counterattack here. Cannoneers setting up positions to provide support and visuals for the Sturmgeschütz crew. Machine gun bunker holding things up. That should also pretty much deny snipers any kind of effectiveness. Stooks here continuing to bombard away. Acting a nice little mobile artillery battery, which as Aslan's were to a certain extent, and in fact were used throughout the war as.
We have been reduced to 25 points. Failure is not rewarded.
There we go, actually flying in with one T-34 as expected. Now pulling in from several sides. There we go, ramming the assault guns. There we go, Veteran 2 trying to pull around here. But T-34 managed ground, but reinforced parts here with the Sturmgeschütz. Actually managed to withstand the ramming assault guns, need to fall back, so now it's pushing up. Guards infantry managed to button it up. And there we go, victory point simply run out. In the end, the Mechanized Corps could not break through the defense of the 18th Panzer Division, although fighting was rather hard, and Giap did certainly do his best. And also I have to note he was complaining a bit of lags, and that also affected some things here and there, but all have been well played. But again, I do definitely feel that the two snipers here by the end were an absolute not good and not optimal choice here by Giap. Had he been on the defensive, it would have been much more effective, because then he could ground with them and pull back. But at the same time, with this, you have to push with them, and that's sort of where snipers do run into a bit of trouble at times if you're not careful. In particular, again, considering the otherwise force structure that Giap had. Also, I think, had he been probably more attacking with several scout cars at the same time rather than just one at a time, he might have had a bit more of an effect here and there. Also, the lack of mines from time to time probably did not help at all. Also, a bit too eager to basically try and sort of ram my Stooks and knock them out that way, instead of, say, trying to flank them with a larger force of T-34s and other fun things. So in that regard, that could have probably also been utilised a bit better here by Giap. But overall, well played. I mean, constantly keeping me on my toes, constantly keeping me a bit unsure about things, but at the same time, as you might have noticed, as this game sort of began drawing towards the end, he also became a bit more predictable. And again, that allowed me to line up my Stooks in a better defensive position, in fact, with a pack 40s ready to support in case something went wrong. MD-42 proved helpful there with incendiary armping rounds. The mortar, despite killing a lot of my men as well, proved quite helpful in dealing with the enemy. The officer also proved quite strong here, gaining veteran C3, killing quite a few units, boosting my defenses or attack wherever needed with his inspiring presence. Always good to have. Grenadiers certainly did alright there, in particular with the light machine guns. In terms of doctrinal usage, I mean, average on both sides, would say nothing particularly exciting or good. I mean, he made good use of the Guards infantry, the merging and such, but again, he should have had DPs for them out soon, I think. That way he'd been able to sort of send a lot more firepower towards me, rather than unfortunate that. Also unfortunate, no, a howitzer or do a mixed strength on that might have benefited a bit more. As for me, I mean, I used him in less. The officer strafing runs, both alright, but again, I could have used all blitzers, tigers, or fragmentation bombs. Although fragmentation bombs, in this kind of fighting, they're not really good versus mobile warfare, so that probably wouldn't have done much. The Tiger, again, I was worried about all the T-34s and saving up resource for that, so I rather opted for numbers to sort of try and negate as much as possible the possibility of ramming, since again, if he wants to then sort of knock out a larger force, he's going to have to expend all of his own tanks on it. Whereas again, if I had a Tiger and just that, he'd ram it and then it would be game over. So in this case, it was rather me not wanting to place all of my eggs in one basket, but in several smaller Stug-shaped baskets. But I mean, again, nice maneuvering, but again, there were some problems. A few poor decisions which all allowed me to sort of gain an advantage here and basically hold him back. And even in this case, had he actually managed to break through, somehow, I mean, the machine gun bunkers would essentially stop him, because again, he had no tanks to sort of support his assault. And again, I think rather than 2 snipers, he probably benefited from a support weapon company, getting some field guns, mortars, machine guns up that way, sort of pushing on a bit more aggressively. But hopefully you enjoyed this, hopefully you learned something from this fight, hopefully you gotten some deeper understanding of the game. If you did, want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If you haven't, send it to me, and provide some feedback in the comments. This is ImperialDane saying cheers, and see you tomorrow, my dear viewers.